Hi, in today's class we're going to learn about scientific polar graphs. And scientific polar graphs involve the unit circle. All the points on the circle shown here are distance 1 away from the center. The center being this point right here. And if we look at this circle, this unit circle, we have varying kinds of measures, one of which are the degrees. For example, if this is 60 degrees. What that means is that this angle is 60 degrees from the horizontal. And because this is a unit circle, we know the length from the center to the point of the circle is length 1. It's a 60-degree angle, so I've made a right triangle here. And if we know our right triangles, the short side is length 1/2 at 60 degrees, and the long side is length 3/2 when the hypotenuse equals 1. Okay, and we're now going to scientific graphing, and we're going to put this unit circle on to the XY plane. And as we saw before, here's that angle of 60 degrees, and this is length 1/2, this is length √3/2, and this is length 1. That means, since we're now on the XY plane, the horizontal is X, the vertical is Y. That means that this length here, 1/2, is the X value. Horizontal is how far you've gone along X. And this length here means that if I move that over to the y-axis, we've gone over a distance √3/2. So this point here, you've gone over an X amount of 1/2 and a Y amount of √3/2. And this is called the Cartesian coordinate. And it is the value right here. So in this unit circle, you've got angles, and the Cartesian coordinates for all points. There's a third value, which is the angle in radians, but we won't need that one. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our knowledge of the unit circle and the various values that we've been given to plot functions. And the kind of functions that we're going to plot are actually quite simple functions. We're going to plot functions like y, or x, or y squared, x squared minus y squared, or xy. These are the kind of functions that we're going to be plotting. And let me show you how that works. Let's start off with the first in our series. We're going to plot the y function. And the way you do it in a scientific polar graph is you choose an angle. For example, we've chosen the angle 60 degrees. That's in the 60-degree direction. And we discovered for the y function, the coordinate is, Cartesian coordinate is 1/2 √3/2, and the first is the 1/2 is the x value, the second number is the y value. Y along this direction is √3/2, and that's around 0.85. So you go along this circle a distance of 0.85. And remember, the unit circle is 1, so 0.85 is right around here. And you draw a solid circle because that's how far you've gone. You draw a solid circle because it's a positive value. And so you just look at the Cartesian coordinate. Let's look at 90 degrees. At 90 degrees, the y coordinate is 1. So we go a distance 1 in this direction. and that puts it right on the unit circle itself. And root 2 over 2 is this direction here, 45 degrees. Root 2 over 2 is around 0.71, so going at distance 0.71, it's here. The y-coordinate here is 1/2. We go 1/2 the way. And along the x-axis itself, the y value is 0, so we put a point here. And we can do the same on the opposite side. Here again, the y value is root 3 over 2, that's 0.85. The y value is root 2 over 2, that's around 0.7. And then y value 1/2, we go 1/2. And then right along the horizontal axis in going to the left, it's again 0. And what you now do is, after you've made all these points, is you connect the dots. And because these are positives, we connect the dots with a solid line. And now we can go to the lower hemisphere. Here we see along at this angle, it's -1. That's a negative value for y. So we're going to use not a solid circle, but just an open circle. Here we have negative root 3 over 2. That's negative 0.85. So we'll put a value here. Negative root 2 over 2. That's negative 0.7. Negative 1/2. And then it goes here. Again, in this direction, negative 0.85. Negative 0.7. Negative 1/2. And when we connect these points, we're not going to use a solid line. They're negative. We'll use a dotted line. And those lines that we just drew, the solid line and the dotted line, they are the scientific polar graph. If I were to draw them without the filled circles, the open circles, which we just used to find it, the scientific polar graph for the y function is just the open circles like this and the dotted line like that. And that is a scientific polar graph of y. And in just the same way, we can look at other functions. One function we'll look at is x squared minus y squared. We'll do that in class or in workshop. For x squared minus y squared, you're going to have to use both the x and the y value. For example, at 60 degrees, x is 1/2, y is root 3 over 2. So if you plug that in, it's 1/2 squared for x squared minus root 3 over 2, that's the y value, squared. And when you work that out, you get 1/4 minus 3/4, which is minus, if we use our mental math, minus 1/2. And we'll practice this more in class.